Now, as exciting as Muse is, I know you guys want to just kind of get these sites published and out there, but there's a few things we need to check, and one of them is around the validation. One of the problems with things generated, especially when you haven't written the code, is sometimes the code doesn't match up to what the validators want, or in particular cases, they don't give enough information to Google and screen readers about what it is that they're seeing. Therefore, they rank those sites lower, or even worse, that the site's not even visible to some of those kind of machines or potentially people who are using some screen readers. As a fix to a lot of these problems, HTML inherently has a lot of information that you can attach to various objects. So when you have an image, you can give it extra information. When you have a static page, you can give it a description, an author, some keywords. Those are just basics that you can attach around some of these items. And if we look at what we've done so far with the pages, when we export this out as HTML, I've got to link that. That's fine. Let's just do that. That's fine. You just do that. When you export this out as HTML, we get all of these various pages that get generated. And as a result of that, we get some code. Now, if we look at the code, and wait for the font to kind of kick in, this is the actual code that is generated. So when we grab that code and we try and put it into the direct input here for the validator to look at, it might come up with some issues. And these issues shouldn't scare you or deter you from doing anything, but they are actual things that need to be considered. Some of these things may be around naming, some of them could be actual HTML errors, and some of them could be all good. When you know that you've got a document that's working, you get this lovely green message saying, I've checked the document, I've checked all of your code, and it's perfect. There's no qualms about any of this stuff. Very, very happy. And to show you as an example what we would potentially have in here that wouldn't please what you're seeing is if we didn't have like the alt attribute on some of these images. So if we didn't have that, it'd be getting upset over little things, such as that being missing. And so again, we run that and we check it, and then it starts giving you these error messages. So error, the image element must have an alt attribute. So I've looked at it and it does not have one. Please fix this and then resubmit. So what Muse does for you is it puts these alt attributes in just little placeholders for you to be able to go in and actually add some alt attributes. So you can say, look, this is an image of a cat. Not that it is, because this is the elephant image, but this gives you an idea of where you would be describing this image. Because it's set up and because it's just set to blank, which is what these double quotes mean, it means there's nothing inside, it will pass the validation, which is good. But if you did want to be a little bit more precise, then what happens when you're actually kind of in these particular pages, you have the ability to go and edit your actual properties for these images. So when you have an image like this and you right click it, you'll go to your edit image properties, brings up the particular information here, and you can say image of amazing tiger. And this will now, on the export, the next time we export, will be added into the alt attribute inside of that particular image. So it's very good practice to do that, to be aware of that, so that you can add this additional information around your particular portfolio items, maybe a picture of you enjoying the sun over in blah, or enjoying a smoothie down at blah, whatever the picture was of, and it'll help to just kind of give it that context and put it all into perspective for Google who's browsing it, as well as for people who might be browsing it with some kind of screen reader or some additional kind of support on what it is that they're looking at. So those are important things to be aware of. even though Muse generates code that will validate, it's still important to note that it doesn't put those alt attributes in for you, because it doesn't actually know what should go in there. So as long as you can be mindful of that, um, and put in the extra effort, it will pay off if you're going to launch your site for real. If you're just doing it for an assessment, this is unnecessary because it will validate without this. But hopefully that gives you a bit of a glimpse of what else you can do and how you can get to that in Muse, and how awesome Muse is because it actually does validate, which is one of the main things that you're trying to achieve for your assessment, which is basically to pass that validation checker with the code for every one of your pages. So yeah, good luck with it all, and I'll see you guys later.